Guys, and welcome to my channel, Cooking with Katrina. Today I'm going to give you a really easy recipe, and it is meatball shells and cheese. So let's get started. First off, we're going to go with the ingredients. I've got about 3.5 pounds of ground beef for this recipe. You can use whatever type of meat that you want to, ground pork, ground turkey, ground chicken, whatever, just to make meatballs. I'm using ground beef. And for the ingredients for just the meatball portion, you need some granulated garlic, minced onion, black pepper, some Parmesan cheese, and you want to get the one that's in the cold section because it's fresh, not the one that's on the shelf. And it also, after open, it goes, real cheese is cold, so it's not meant to be eaten like just hot. That's not real cheese. Anyway, and then you'll need some type of spaghetti sauce or tomato sauce. I'm not that big on just plain tomato sauce because it's very acidic, so I just use just a regular old traditional sauce for this. You need 2 large eggs, some diced tomatoes, about 1/8 of a tablespoon of brown sugar to cut the acidity, some Worcestershire sauce or Worcestershire sauce, however people say it, but there. And some plain breadcrumbs. I have my shells over here. I've got 2 large boxes because my family is large, so I'm making for a family of 10, so omit what you don't need. I have some herbs, a Provence, so it's kind of like on the lines of like an Italian season, but it's actually got more herbs in it. And then I've got this salt and pepper blend. It's just salt, pepper, garlic. And you can actually find this at Sam's, or you can just use salt, pepper, garlic. And then I've got some beef broth over here. So for the beef broth, I've got a large one, and you're going to need about 2 cups, or for smaller, 1 cup. All right. the meatballs, this was the longest process. So you can always do this in advance and have them frozen or whatever, but it moves pretty quick. What I like to do is I like to make up my meatballs, and before just putting them right in the oven, they kind of make a little mess almost because everything just oozes out. I like to freeze them for about 15 minutes and then put them in there. So that's what I'm going to do. Stick these in the oven for about 15 minutes. And this is a step that I never, you don't want to miss. So just do this. And if you don't have time and you're trying to get dinner on the table quick, just by all means skip this part. Okay, so now we're going to get started on the sauce portion of our dish. I've already cooked my noodles, my shell noodles, and you can use whatever type pasta that you want, but it's already been cooked. These are the ingredients that you'll need for the sauce. Over here, I showed you earlier that I had a jar of just traditional marinara sauce, and I also have 1 can, 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes, just in water, and I did 2 cups of beef broth, not beef stock, but beef broth. And so that's just right now just coming to a simmer, a slow simmer. You want to just keep it on low and slow. And over here, I needed to add some more vegetables in there, given that this is just a 1-pot meal for my kids to get some vegetables. So I diced up a bell pepper and some mushrooms, really thin. And just, of course, I told you you'll need 1/8 of a tablespoon of brown sugar or some type of sugar of any sort that you like. I've got 2 bags of cheddar cheese, heavy cream. You need about 1.5 cups of heavy cream, diced minced onions, ground black pepper, and granulated garlic. And then, of course, just to taste, once everything is combined together and has simmered, just taste it and see if it needs a little salt. You can add salt, and I'll add just my all-purpose seasoning. All right, let's get going. Now it's come to a simmer, and I'm just gonna start adding my ingredients in here. And the sauce will be thin. That's the way it's supposed to be. We're not making spaghetti or anything like that, so that's the difference between this dish and just like a ziti or something like that, where you have a thicker sauce. So I'm just gonna add granulated garlic, I'm sorry. And that was about a tablespoon. You can add fresh garlic if you want to. I'm just gonna add a little bit of black pepper. Onion. You can do fresh onion if you want to, but why when you can just cut corners with minced? It's good. And that's about a teaspoon of minced onion. I'm gonna add my sugar, and I'm just gonna let this simmer. I'm gonna actually turn it down a little bit more because you know how sauce is. It's sauce and grits, they just pop. So my meatballs are almost ready. My timer is showing 1 minute and 35 seconds left. And so as this simmers, we will throw the meatballs in. Don't they look delicious? They look so good. And some of the cheese is starting to cook out of them, and they're gonna be all nice and fully cooked. So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting them inside of my pan so they can finish cooking with the sauce. good. Now I'm gonna start adding my cream, and that's 1 cup of cream. And all my cream. It smells so good. It looks good. Now I'm gonna start adding the cheese. I'm gonna add about 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. And then I'm gonna add a bag of sharp cheddar cheese. But you can add whatever type that you like. You just want a good salty cheese, along with the Parmesan. So good, so rich and creamy. I'm gonna give it a taste. Oh, so good. So good. And what you can do is, if you're making this in advance and you don't want to add the noodles yet, you can make up the sauce and just sit it aside and let it cool and put it in the freezer or the refrigerator and just put it over some noodles when you're ready to serve it. Or you can add the noodles inside the dish, or you can just have the sauce on top of it. I'm gonna actually add the noodles right now. So good. You hear my kids in the back. They're playing with their little cars running through the house. It can get kind of messy, as you can see. Doesn't it look delicious? I'm going to add just a few more noodles. Doesn't that look delicious? Oh, it looks so good. It smells so good. And now I'm going to top it off with just a little bit more cheese. Yes, you heard it. You can leave it at this point and stop if you don't want more cheese, but and I'm gonna actually stick this. I can stick my pan in an oven. So I'm gonna melt that cheese and we will be eating. And I made some homemade French bread. So look out for that recipe on another video and I'll show you guys the finished product. this is it. Bubbly and cheesy. It's gonna be delicious. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope it is a helpful video. Please hit the thumbs up button and the bell for notifications for my next upcoming videos. And please subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.